for the black man to fight in the Civil War. Yes. So, besides those things and being a part of the suffrage movement, I was able to accomplish a few things. I became the first black man to be nominated as a vice presidential candidate, alongside the first woman. Does anyone know who the first woman to run for president was? Did I hear a whisper? Yes, sir.
Susan B. Anthony?
Susan B. No, sir. That was a good guess, though. No. Shirley Chisholm. I don't know who she is. Some people, quite frequently, I heard Hillary Clinton. I don't know. But at least you were in the era. Yes. Yes. Victoria Woodhull. Victoria Woodhull was the first woman. She was a candidate on a ticket from the great state of Kentucky, and they sent me a telegram saying, Mr. Douglas, you're a woman suffrage man. We'd like you to run alongside this woman. Well, I said, I won't run. They said, well, I thought you were a supporter of the women. I said, well, it has nothing to do with her being a woman. I'm not a politician. I'm not going to come to Newport News and tell you one thing about the abolition of slavery and then go to Portsmouth and say something else. I am for the 100% enfranchisement of the black man in American society. And so it doesn't mean, it doesn't matter how well you treat me, how good the dinner is at night, and how soft the bed you gave me. When it's time for me to speak the next morning, I'm going to be speaking on that topic. And it won't be any latitude in my conversation. And so I did not run with her. And of course, I don't know what history has had for you all, whether there's a woman. Certainly you all have the right to vote now, do you not? Ladies?
Yes. Yes.
You have the right to vote.
Yes.
And what amendment brought that about? Maybe you don't have the right to vote. If you're not sure.
19.
Yes, sir, in the back. 19? Yes, sir.
18th.
19th Amendment. If my memory is correct, and I have a pretty good memory for 200 years old. I do look quite handsome for 202 years old, do I not? But this is something that startles me quite a bit when I come back to the modern era, and you don't know the Constitution. Now, I carry one around with me, so that I will know what my rights are. So that I can't be waylaid. I mean, you might, ladies, show up at the ballot box claiming you're ready to vote, and then someone say, well, you have the right to vote. What amendment is that? And you say, well, it's in the Constitution somewhere. And they say, well, if you find the Constitution, we'll let you vote. By the time you get back to the ballot box, the ballot is closed. This is important information. You should have this is the Bible of the land. You should have the Bible, the Torah, the Quran, or something in the other hand. You should have both of these close to your proximity. Yes. I even have well, it's in my back pocket, the Confederate Constitution. So I would be reminded of what could have been. But this is a very important document that you should know, and not knowing the Constitution and understanding thereof, not being able to remember the preamble, is a part of your civic responsibility. You know, your civic responsibility is not just stop at casting a vote. Once you cast your vote, you still have a civic responsibility to follow through with the politician. It's not enough that you know his name. It's not enough, young people, that you know who your president is, or who your governor is. Your governor is supposed to know who you are. If someone says there's a young boy down in Newport News, they said, the governor should say, yes, Mr. Abel, a young lad. I know him. He has great potential. And if he doesn't know your name, then how do you make him know your name? You follow him to his office that he's been elected to, and you knock on his door, walk in, and you demand representation. Otherwise, well, he can just forget who you are, start taking contributions out of both pockets, give you no representation. This is what civic responsibility is. And it should be equal, whether it's man or woman. We should all be equal in this society. Yes. Now, in addition to that, young people, I became the president of the Freedmen's Bank and Trust. I also was the U.S. Marshal for the District of Columbia. I was the ambassador to the country of Haiti. Yes. And so I accomplished all these things by teaching myself how to read and write. You can accomplish many things. If you teach yourself how to read and write, you read books. You all like to read, do you not? What books do you like to read, young man? Yes, I'm speaking to you. Yes, sir.
I don't really like to read.
Oh, and so what is your subject?
Math.
Math. He says math. Oh, yeah, your son. Yes, your son. I was telling his son, he's out getting tutored on math, about the great man who made himself a mathematician, Benjamin Banneker. Now, Benjamin Banneker freed himself, or taught himself math, wrote his own almanac. The almanac was sent to Europe, and they compared it to the great almanac of our president. And they said it was an equal document of the stars and such. And then later on, Mr. Banneker, as an engineer, wrote out the blueprint for how, when you're driving down the streets of Washington, D.C., you're following the pattern set by Benjamin Banneker. So you might want to read up on Benjamin Banneker. You might like the numbers, but read about Benjamin Banneker. All right? Okay. Now, and so these are the things I accomplished during my time after my career as a slave, and then later on in life, writing my own newspaper. And so you can accomplish great things if you stick to it. If you give it good hard work and effort. If you respect your potential for what you're going to become in life, you can do these things. Anyone, not just me, but you can as well, young man. Well, I see some refreshments in the back. I would like to take some questions, though, before we start the refreshments. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask.